Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And guys, this morning about 3 to 4 a.m., I got to do something in Raid that is probably one of my favorite things to do. And that is try to place in Platinum Arena. Used to, when I would stream from 11 p.m. to 3 to 4 a.m.-ish, I would push Plat all the time. Sometimes make it, most of the time didn't make it, but I enjoyed doing it. I love the challenge. I love the creativity of making new teams. The thing I love the most is making defenses that are not meta, more so that are tricky defenses, okay? I enjoy doing that. They may not always do the best, but this morning, at, like I said, 3 to 4 a.m., I actually woke up and actually pushed Plat, and I had a successful Plat push. So 2 weeks ago, I tried to push, didn't really turn out that well. This morning, though, I actually placed. So I'll show you guys my placing at the end of this video. What I would like to do is go over my last 5 minutes or so. Now, I gotta preface this, okay? So to be honest, when I woke up this morning, so let's rewind this a little bit, okay? So I kind of decided for sure that I was gonna wake up and push Plat probably 10 or 11 o'clock p.m. last night. So I figured, this is a good time to prep. So I went ahead and I tried to push up into Platinum Arena. I got it and it was good to go. Well, when I got there, I was starting to go against teams that are pretty similar to what I've been seeing actually on Reset, because the last 15 to 20 minutes of Reset is quite a bit different than the whole week beforehand. But there was a lot of teams that were like Kandrafon, Duchess, Necrit, things like this, okay, that Machunga has. I believe that's how you say the name, or Daddy Drock. Very similar teams to these. So what I did is I was like, okay, Leors is going to be my main nuker. Well, I went in here, threw some teams with Leors against him, and he was not nuking them down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have been out of pushing for Plat so long that my Leo's gear, he had a weapon on before, but he doesn't now because I moved it over to a different champion. But I was like, he's been out for so long that he just can't nuke through anybody anymore. I'm like, what in the world is this? Even with 2 nukes, it was kind of difficult. So obviously, I need to get my Savage gear a little bit better. I need to get harder hitting gear because people are gearing their champions so incredibly tanky. And if my Ramen 2 didn't strip, then it's just going to be an absolute nightmare. So a last minute decision, like let's say it was like, actually this video may show right here where I made the decision. Let me rewind it to the beginning. Yeah, right here, we're actually taking some gear, actually putting it on Duchess. I move, okay, so Ray is my nuker, okay? So Ray is my only +4 champion on my account, which is really weird because to be honest, I don't have that many champions that are dupes. Like other than Ray, I got like 2 other champions I could make +3. But yeah, it was very surprising that Ray was my first +4 champion. But basically, let's say 3 a.m. is when I should start pushing, about an hour before. Let's say it was like 2:50 when I decided, I think Ray is going to be the better option because she's a +4 champion. So she has the built-in from the empowerment. She has an extra 537 attack, which obviously makes her a lot stronger. She has an extra 30% crit damage, extra crit rate. She works very well with accuracy, and she actually pairs very well with Yoshi because the increased accuracy boosts her accuracy as it is by 50%. So she can use accuracy. Her A3 ability strips the enemies and can place a freeze, which is actually a big help, especially if you're going against the damage dealers who you can actually freeze. So like Duchesses and Mithralas, they're probably going to resist my Ray trying to freeze them. But there were some times yesterday where they didn't, and it would allow me to come back around for another turn to nuke and then actually finish them off with his A2 ability. The A2 ability hits like an absolute truck. This is one of the hardest hitting abilities in the game, especially if you have, well, specifically, if you have a debuff on the enemy, it inflicts 50% more damage. It hits so incredibly hard. And I usually don't use Ray, to be honest, but I decided, let's go ahead and get Ray geared. I do have an HP banner on her with some pretty good attack rolls, but check this out. I was able to get her quite a bit higher, 280% crit damage, 6,400 attack. She actually has some pretty good defense, to be honest. 1,200 base defense. I guess the Faction Guardians plus empowerment, putting her to 3,100. She's actually fairly tanky, which was kind of an issue I was having with Leo. Even with reaction gear, he was just dying on me. So I know Leo's an absolutely amazing champion, but my gear just wasn't doing him justice. So let me show you guys the champions I used for the arena offense. We'll go over the video, and then I'll show you my defense, which honestly was kind of useless, to be honest. But let's go over these champions real quick, and then I'll do a few arena matches with these champions. So first up, let's look at Ramen 2. So the team is Ramen 2, Yoshi, Madame Saris, and Necrit. Now Necrit was hardcore crutch on my account, basically. So I used him in every single match. Honestly, I was debating on even showing you guys this because there's not a lot of variation. But Ramen 2 is my second champion to go right after Yoshi. All my champions are in Stone Skin, except for Necrit. Well, I guess only Ramatou and Yoshi. Necrit is in a protection set because I was using him on defense, and Ray is just in Savage and Cruel because Necrit protects her. So Ramatou, just decent speed for my team. So whatever your team speed is, that's where Ramatou would fit in. But 187, he's in Stone Skin. I have some reaction gear on him, have Revenge as well, which actually works pretty well. But basically, just good speed, and I'm pushing his accuracy as high as I can get it. I love the Stone Skin because I'm running a slow team with him. So there's Ramatou. Pretty basic mastery setup, pretty basic overall build. Let's go down to Yoshi. Yoshi is just as close of speed to Ramatou as I can get him, because what I want to do is I want Yoshi to increase attack, increase accuracy, and then I want Ramatou to go right after him. So as soon as Yoshi does that, I want Ramatou to go ahead and strip the enemy, block their passives, and with the increased accuracy, he's going to have a pretty high chance of actually stripping all the enemies. So Yoshi, 192 speed, pretty good HP. You want to make sure any of your Stone Skin champions have good HP, because that's what the Stone Skin protection is based off of, their HP. Yoshi, I'm not really worried about his accuracy, to be honest, because he can place the True Fear, which is amazing if he does, but they, a lot of times, since it is a Go Second team and I'm going against a very specific enemy team, they most of the time have block debuffs or something like that. So the True Fear doesn't actually land that frequently. So we got some extra accuracy down there, but like I said, honestly, it doesn't even matter. So really just Yoshi, just speed, good HP, and you're gonna be good to go. Stone Skin, maybe even 2 Stone Skin sets if you got them, as in like 2 full pieces. Okay, so I guess better way to say this is 6 pieces of Stone Skin. Okay, so 6 pieces of Stone Skin instead of 4 for the 2-turn Stone Skin buff works best. After that, we have Necrit, which Necrit is Necrit. Okay, he's an amazing champion flat out. You can really put him in any gear set. I don't think protection is the best for consistency in the arena as far as on offense, because if you don't protect your buffs and you're relying on your buffs to be protected so they don't get stripped, then it's a lot of RNG involved. On defense, absolutely amazing in protection, because defense RNG wins are really the best way to win, or the most consistent way to actually get those wins, which RNG plus consistent, I don't really know if that goes well together, but this set has been working pretty well for me. He's slower than my Ray. So my Ray was sitting at, let's see, 176 speed. Necrit is sitting at 171, which is very important. Basically, Ray does her nuke, Necrit comes in with the ally attack, and then Ray is able to use her A1 to finish everybody off, hopefully, and Ramatou's already stripped everybody anyway. So Necrit and protection, but honestly, I'm thinking about switching him to bolster gear if I get an actual good set with it. In case the enemy does have a strip champion, that or shield set works great, or even Stone Skin, because there was some times where he would get block active skills from Lydia, and he wasn't able to use the ally attack, which kind of made it a little bit tricky. But as far as his masteries go, pretty basic stuff, I guess. Honestly, I could change these up, but this is very defensive-based mastery so far. So good HP, good speed for your team, resistance and accuracy, there we go. And then Ray, like you saw, she's just decked out to do some damage. I do have some survivability on her, because in a Go Second team, you do expect to get hit at least once, so you really want to make sure you can survive that hit, even if you do have Necrit protecting her. There's definitely some Kandrafons out there who can absolutely murder my Ray. They hit so incredibly hard, even through Necrit shield. It's actually very, very impressive. But here we go. Let's go ahead and watch the last 5 minutes of this. I'll share with you guys kind of some of my mistakes. There was a Siphi. I don't know where it's at in this video. We probably already skipped it, but there was an enemy Siphi. My goodness, it took so long. I just had to X out of the match. I couldn't kill her. I'm like, how is this Siphi built? She's absolutely insane. Let's go ahead and play it. See how everything went down. So there's no sound on the video. It's in 2x speed. I mean, the video's not, but the gameplay obviously is. It looks a little bit fast, but you can see here, Ray hits so incredibly hard. You saw her right there, use her A3 ability, kill everybody. They revived on death because of Cardiel, and then Necrit uses his ally attack to go ahead and use Ray's A1 ability to go ahead and wipe everybody else out the rest of the way. So you can see here, trying to work down big War Mama, whatever her name is, Ursuga the War Mother, I think it's her name. I don't know what her name is. War Mother? No, who knows? I don't know. All right, so that was super quick. With Plat pushing, I actually fell out of Platinum Arena, and I was like, oh no, this cannot be another week of waking up at 3 a.m. to fall out of Plat. So I fell out of Plat. I'm like, okay, I have to go through here and click teams as fast as possible. The teams I was looking for were teams where their passive abilities of their champions are very, very impactful. So you can see here, the passive ability of Duchess reduces the damage allies take by 15%. I don't want that. If you get rid of that, then Duchess is far worse than what she would have been, because that 15% damage reduction is so huge. Ramatou blocks that. Leoris' passive, absolutely incredible. Places unkillable, and boost his damage, well, guess what? If it's gone, then he can't do either one of those. Necrit doesn't really have a huge effect, I don't think, maybe with the shield. And then Mithrala doesn't really have an effect because if you place the debuff, I guess your other champions could apply their debuffs better, but Mithrala has so much resist, so much accuracy anyways, it may not have a huge effect. But here we go. Let's see how this team plays out. Duchess doing the buff. So basically my goal is to allow the entire enemy team to go. So I don't want to interrupt this too much, but the reason why my team is slow is because my goal is to allow the enemy to take all their turns, getting rid of all their reaction. Because if reaction procs, then my run is basically ruined. So enemy duchesses have procced reaction. So I hit them, reaction procs, I do no damage, they res next turn. I don't have a warlord, I don't use my basher. So I really have to make sure that when I do the damage, whenever I'm dealing damage, that it's actually as hard as I can hit. So I really like these slow teams against this other slow team. I just got to run slower than their slow team, which is kind of weird for the arena. But this has worked out pretty well so far for me, to be honest. Well, at least yesterday it did. I don't know about next week. I guess we'll see. But here we go. Let's go ahead and use Ray's A2, which hits so hard. Now we don't have Leo's passive block there, so we proc the unkillable. But luckily we had Necrit kind of still protecting Ray, so we're good to go. Next fight. So we're in Platinum Arena now, so I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable. I'm actually picking these matches very, very quick, which is good. A big issue is if you don't pick them fast enough, then you're just going to fall behind and you're going to fall out of Plat. Because if people start seeing you on their list and they can see that you're an easy target to farm, you get farmed so quick. Now, I didn't actually get farmed at all this week, which was surprising because my defense was honestly pretty bad. Like, if people would have hit me, they would have realized, okay, this dude, I'm going to farm him. I changed my name to L Fanboy, Bad L, and Noble, Noble and Ruel. That's actually what it was. Somebody in the comment section, I forgot who, told me to change my name to L Fanboy. So that's exactly what I did. There we go, finish off the Mountain King. Now, I got to say, the scary thing, so we got 1 minute and 51 seconds left over here. You guys can see in this little corner right there. But the scary thing, actually, I don't know what I was going to say. My brain just collapsed, I think. I don't know what's scary, honestly. I'll think about it and I'll tell you guys in a minute what I thought was scary. I'm going to take a drink, though, Mom. All right, so this is another team. Stone Skin is so annoying on Duchess, but luckily you saw there just now, Ray actually stripped that Stone Skin. So we come in. The enemy Duchess has Stone Skin as well as a bunch of other buffs. Ray comes in, strips that Stone Skin right off, which is so incredibly helpful. So helpful. So we'll mute this again. I guess it doesn't really matter if it's muted or not. So this may be a match that I lose. Basically, if the matches are taken to like 1.5 minutes or so, then I just leave them. Actually, no, I'll take that back. This match was at like 3:59. So it resets at 4 o'clock. So I tried fighting through this match, but it wasn't going to happen. So what I did, fast forward 30 seconds, is I just sat it out. I tried to fight it a little bit, couldn't do it. So here you see me just doing the top tier pushing plays and just sitting it out. So I just sat it out for a while, and there we go, 224 in Platinum Arena. Here I go to take a screenshot to post it in my clan, but number 224. Not the best placing, definitely gonna get better in the future, but going in with a defense that wasn't planned, with a nuker that I've really never used, feels pretty good. So this is my defense. The reason why I say this defense isn't very good, the champions here are great. The champions are very solid, but I didn't actually build it to make a lot of sense. So Duchess is going way faster than everybody else. She's naked now, but she was going way faster than everybody else, like a 250 or something with regeneration gear. Not terrible, but Cardiel's sitting at 180, Necrit's sitting at 171, Kandrafon is 181. So the speeds of the champions don't make a ton of sense. Duchess definitely could have fit in this team, but I think I would have changed some things. This team is very susceptible to Ramen 2 as well. This team can be countered by the team that I was using, which this team is probably one of the top or most popular current meta defenses that I've seen. This, or with Mithrala, some variation of basically Kandrafon or Leo or other good defensive nuker, Duchess, Necrit, and then Mithrala, Cardiel, Siphi, one of those champions. That was my goal to counter. So we'll see here, this is all I was hit. So this was 14 hours and 56 minutes ago. This was 15 hours and 14 minutes ago. I was only hit 1, 2, 3 times, and I won one of them. But technically, the one I won did the same thing I did. So they just sat out the match and then left. So this one didn't even count, unfortunately. So if they would have actually left, then maybe I would have placed 200, top 200. But unfortunately, got 224, which I'm not upset with. Definitely pretty happy considering before I wasn't even placing. So waking up at 3 a.m. and actually getting a victory does always feel nice for sure. So these Platinum Arena pushes I do enjoy. Let me do a few matches with Ray real quick. So this team right here, honestly, if it has no strip champion, I can do it. This isn't a great example because it is 155,000 player power. So it's not a great example of what actually goes on. But next week, if I push, I may stream it, not 100% sure. But what I want to do is I want to build a team, build at least 2, maybe 3 more teams that I can use to counter other Plat Arena meta defenses, okay? So this week, my main focus was just on those Mortu, Leo, Candrafine with Duchess, Mithrala, Necrit, those type of teams, okay? Where the deactivation of their passive, even the Venus and Cupidus team, deactivating the passive, absolutely huge. My goal was to counter those. So next week, I want to maybe branch out into maybe a faster team, countering faster teams, having a team to counter those Warlord teams a little more consistently, because I do have a Warlord counter, which I saw from one of Mac Chan's videos. But the only issue is that it's not 100% consistent for me. It's good, definitely works great, but it's also a little bit slow for me sometimes. So it just really depends. I'll give you guys an example of how it works. If we can find a Warlord team through here. There we go. Here's a Warlord team right here. This is not the greatest example because we only have one AoE champion. Warlord, Mortu has one AoE hit. The way this team really works well is if you have a lot of enemy champions who do AoE abilities, Kaimars, Hegemons, things like that. This team works very well because you got more and more of a chance to actually proc that peril from Mortu. But here we go. We procced it. And I guess now we can just get rid of Warlord. There we go. Not a big deal there. We'll go ahead and try to hit Mithrala just because I don't want to hit Mortu and proc his peril. And I don't really want to hit Necrit because he's got Stone Skin on. So let's turn on auto. If we do hit Mortu, not a big deal. But the goal is to proc your Mortu's peril, block revive, and win. The only issue is actually getting your Mortu to proc his peril. The enemy's Mortu, I'm convinced, has a 100% chance to proc peril. And my Mortu has a, what feels like, 20% chance, which is actually what it is, right? 20% chance to unlock the secret skill. Yeah, I definitely feel that 20% most of the time. Except for just then. I did get super lucky just now. I guess you got about as much of a chance to proc peril as you do to pull a Void Legendary during a Void Legendary 10x event. So as far as like if you actually open a Legendary, you have a 20% chance of getting that Legendary. So tomorrow is Warlord 10x. Well, maybe today, depending on when this video is released. But basically, you got no chance whatsoever. And the enemy's going to proc it. My Candrafon's dead. GG's, baby. The match is over. Obviously, this is a bad example for this team. I would never use this team against that team, except for in the video to showcase. But definitely not a good matchup. For this matchup, I would probably I would use a fast champion. So getting Ramen 2 in here, getting a fast champion in here with my Ray is definitely something I want to do. So I can put my Ray in here. I don't really have a speed champion right now, to be honest. Like my Arbiter, I don't really use her. Like I haven't used, my Siphi is 340. She's not that fast. Like for where in Plat I want it to be, 340 speed is slow. Bottom of the barrel slow. So trying to compete with speed, even against this team, I'll probably lose, to be honest. Let's see. We'll put Kaimar in there just for the speed aura. You know, got to go ahead and try to get the best we can. Speed aura from Kaimar. May add a Lady Kimmy as my fastest champion with Kaimar. They definitely work very well. I really wish I had a Warlord, but I can't pull tomorrow during the 10x event because I already opened my Mercy Legendary for a Constantine. Dang. Okay, so we are faster, luckily, but they're all Stone Skin. That's why it's so important to have a Warlord of your own, because then you don't got to worry about Stone Skin. You just lock them all out, except for Mortu, but then you're good to go, right? So here we go. Mortu actually not killing Ray, which is so nice because he's weak affinity. He has weak hits. So nice. All right, so let's turn on auto. Let's see. See what Ray can use. Okay, so Ray can just work him down. She hits so hard. Ray hits very, very hard. Now, a regular +1 Ray, I'd probably be using Leo instead. But since my Ray just so happens to be +4, I'm like, well, might as well go ahead and use my +4 Ray to go ahead and try to push, right? Might as well use it if you have it. So with Kaimar, I would actually really like to get a second Kaimar. If I pulled a second Kaimar, I could build a very unique team that I think would probably catch a lot of people off guard just because of how it would be structured. So I would definitely be interested in doing that. Let's see if we kill everybody. Not quite. And the Mortu's going to come back for sure for Ray. 2 perils and still didn't kill Ray. I was gonna say that one's getting her for sure. That one had to get her. She survived 2 perils, so that's actually pretty impressive. But either way, guys, a little bit longer video, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you want me to continue to do some of these Plat recaps. Granted, this one was pretty boring, to be honest. Like, the teams I faced were basically the exact same team every single time. So I don't really want to have to go through it and show you guys every single match that is the same. It's just Siphi, Rhodos, Mithrala, Necrit, Duchess, Candrafon, Mithrala, Necrit, variations of this slow team, but this team works so well against. I've been enjoying it because any team that heavily relies on passives, this team shuts down. So Rhodos, his passive, so good. Siphi, passive, so good. Shut them down, not an issue. Ray one-shots everybody, or she can one-shot everybody. I've opted to use that A3 ability just because it has a chance of placing the freeze. So if I don't kill somebody, I have the chance of freezing them, which has actually saved me a few times. But guys, hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.